Lace you out. So how do you feel wearing this right now? You feel silly? I'm baggy.
I'm sculpting. I know I'm sculpting. It's like this. Hey.
Kamari, did you get a do now, sweetie?
Hello, welcome to our 2014 Race Fan. My name is Pocahontas and I'll be talking about my life and my accomplishments. I was born in Rural Virginia, and to this day it has been settled by Englishmen, and now it is a snow colony. My father is Chief Powhatan. My mother died when I was born, and I have 26 brothers and sisters. I live with my stepmothers and stepbrothers and sisters, so that's it that I have so far.
I will be talking about the Native American and the Colonial American. When I came to the New World, I met Pocahontas when she was 11, 1607. Her father, she saved me because her father almost had on my head, and our relationship was just friends. We never got married, and I never married nobody. I was single, I never had children.
Native American cooking. We made succotash. They made tray bowls out of clay, the most resources. They had corn, beans, and squashes and 3 sisters, but they mainly grew. And we made some sample clay bowls of ourselves. This is our Native American group. We have clay pots they will make clay pots. That was their main resource for food.
Colonial and we did cooking because we like it. And we got different concepts. We got Yankee donuts, and I gave her one for extra. We got banana pudding. We got pumpkin pie. We got corn. And we got beans. And we Colonial American women always cooked and did everything because they did stuff for the men while they went out hunting. One cup of cake. That's enough. We're talking about the New England Pie. The New England Pie was a small little handbook that the teachers used to teach their students. And then the quilling ink. The quilling ink is, they had to usually use the feather, they used to chip it in. Then they used to dip it in ink and make it. They used to use, the type of writing they used to use is calligraphy. And a slate is a mini chalkboard they used to use for hornbook. A hornbook was used because paper was very expensive.
Colonial students use hornbooks, quill pens, and Bible to read and write. If there was 50 families, it would have to be a school building. The schoolhouse would be made in the middle of the road because no one wanted to waste good farmland. Open shop.
My name's Darius Obama. I'm a Colonial American. And I'm doing Colonial stores. Colonial stores are not like the stores that they use today. They didn't have much cash registers to use for getting money in or use credit cards. All they had was the ledgers, the books, a book, and also stuff to sell. They were much smaller than the stores they had today. So, let's say you wanted the axe head. The axe head will be much less. tobacco. So, that's the dirty tobacco.
Shout to you, we can save it for you to come back if you would like to. Do you want this one?
A Colonial American teacher.
Welcome to our 2014 Wingspan. I'm a plantation owner, and I hire an indentured servant to work on my farm for 5 or 7 years. When that 5 or 7 years is over, he get to go for his free land, and he have his own land. And I'll be teaching you about tobacco. Tobacco back then was a lot of money. Stores, they traded things just to get pounds and pounds for tobacco.
This is Native American and Colonial American arts and crafts. So they will be talking to you about some of the crafts that they had back then. These are quill feathers, quill pins, and we made ink out of strawberries. These are Native American birdhouses, which are some of the crafts that they taught the Europeans how to make. This is a totem pole, and this is a Native American hut, which represents what they
That they didn't have a lot of material, and they had to use most of the things that they had was made out of wood and clay.
Back then, education was really hard because if they got in trouble, they would get whipped, and they would sit in the corner. But they didn't have pencils like we do now. They would use quill pens and they would use ink. And they didn't have regular books back then. They would use like a little paddle with a piece of paper on it, and they would hang it on their neck. So when it was like time for writing, they would take that off their neck and use the quill pen so that they could write.
Something I learned during Wingspan is that most of the colonial games that they played back then are very similar to what we play now.
Something I learned about in colonial days, they didn't have the same thing we had today. They used different things that we use today. Like for color dye, they would use berries, fruits, and flax and flowers.
I learned many different things during colonial times. I learned about mostly colonial cooking. I learned what they ate and what they did during dinner time, and I learned many different things.
I learned that in colonial times, their songs they was not really long, and they only meant things that like what their life was about or how they felt that certain day, and they could only listen to it on Sundays.
Because it showed you how people back in the day lived and how hard it was, and you couldn't like get what you want. You had to get what was there, whether you like it or not.
To basically like tell us like how it was back in the days and how we are now.
To teach us how different we live, like how our lifestyles changed over the past years.
It really shows how hard they had it back then and how hard they worked and how easy we have it. We have technology that almost makes all the flavoring and stuff. They had to make the clothes by themselves, make the food, do everything.
The most important thing I've learned about this is that we've been able to make as much nice stuff out of teamwork.
The important thing that I learned was when they catch the food, they would take it back to the tribe, and they would have different spears, bow and arrows, and tomahawks.
When you're done with it and you got the tobacco, the same money back to buy stuff. So then what else do they buy?
They buy like clay pots,
shovels, tools, and like wires. Tobacco.
So like if they had nails in it, this was the screw nails in, and this was when you had to put the nails out of this at that part.
excellent.
hunting material. This is a bow and arrow they use to hunt different animals like buffalo. This is a tomahawk, axe that you can throw. This is a bow axe that you use to trip animals so you can kill them. And this is a spear so you can throw it at the animals so you can kill them from long distance.